yok. Sakin ol. Bir flash tutar mısınız? Yere yıkılalım arkadaşlar.
On July 15, 2016, rogue military units attempted to topple the democratically elected government of Turkey.
Türk askeriyle savaşıyor. Böyle bir şey yok yani.
251 people lost their lives, and 2,734 were injured. As the night of defiance unfolded, the coup plotters were identified and found to be aligned with the Fetullah Terrorist Organization, or Feto. The Fetullah Terrorist Organization is led by Fethullah Gülen, a Pennsylvania-based cult leader who has been active since the 1960s. He began as a religious cleric and laid the groundwork for an organization that would spread across the globe. He called it Hizmet, which means service. Gülen has been running a decades-long campaign to overthrow the Turkish state by gathering followers who would infiltrate key positions across the world and running a parallel shadow government.
Dünyayı sırtınıza alıp taşıyabilecek güce ulaşacağınıza ne kadar, o kuvveti temsil edeceğiniz şeyler elinizde olacağına kadar, Türkiye'deki devlet yapısı ölçüsüne göre bütün anayasal müesseselerdeki güç ve kuvveti cephenize çekeceğiniz ana kadar her adım erken sayılır.
He did this by opening schools and education centers in various countries, from the US to Central Asia, Africa, and Europe. Students were also provided accommodation and scholarships. In 1976, he opened his first student dormitory, which served as a place to hold religious discussions. This dormitory became the template for all Gülen-inspired tuition centers and schools. The purpose was to provide income for the cult and to recruit people. While some students were there just for education, many others were being groomed to be placed into the military, judiciary, and police institutions. Once the recruits were positioned and empowered, they were then asked to give back to the organization by donating 10 to 20% of their salaries. The fundraising wasn't just limited to members in Türkiye. In an article published by the Washington Post, a witness testifies that her husband, a Turk, had been involved in the Gülen movement, and that Turkish teachers at the Ohio school had to turn over 40% of their salaries to a secret fund used by the movement. Feto consists of many circles which work as small secretive cells, but cells that are more vital to the cult, with members in high-ranking positions that are so secretive they communicate through code names. At the lowest level, there are people who have a link with the Gülen cult and provide financial support. Above them is the loyal group of members who are officials in schools, different foundations, and government institutions. Then there are ideological members who are tasked with persuading others to join the cult. After this comes the supervisors group, which oversees every single activity, legal or illegal. Then come the organizers and executors who hardly know each other and are appointed by Gülen himself. Special members serve as a point of contact between Gülen and the members at the lower levels and hand out duties within the network. At the top level are the elites who are directly appointed by Gülen. By using this system, Feto set up companies and entered the business world in Türkiye. It started with newspapers and TV stations, where many members would go on to work. They also entered the military and obtained powerful positions in the police and judiciary. The ultimate goal was to gain control of the state. They mounted large legal cases using what is now known to be fabricated evidence. They jailed military leaders, politicians, and judges. The terror group also developed strong networks in the West, particularly in the US, where it opened over 200 schools, earning over $500 million annually. The failure of the 2016 coup attempt exposed the terror group's operations and led to its decline. At least 234 schools in 20 countries have, in coordination with corresponding governments, been placed under Türkiye's Global Education Foundation, the Turkish Marif Foundation. Institutes and schools in other countries have either been sold, transferred to other education bodies, or have changed management, and some are in the process of being investigated for malpractice and fraudulent activity. Other schools have closed due to parents pulling their children out over fears of being ideologically indoctrinated. Feto has also lost approximately 75% of its schools in non-Western countries, but it still maintains a considerable presence in the US, where it has close to 218 charter schools, servicing 80,000 students in 28 states. These series of events have managed to propel Gülen to the forefront of Türkiye's most wanted list.
Quite frankly, never in almost 40 years of doing investigations have I run across an organization like the Gulen organization. To say that this is an empire of deceit or deception is an understatement.